Sup dishonest liars. Welcome to Daily Neko. News you can meowsly trust. Straight from the kitten's paw. Since a lots of people have been covering the riots, I'll try to cover some of the surrounding stories related to them in one way or another. And I guess I have kind of three stories. The first of which comes from Campus Reform. Written by Lacey Kesticker on June 2, 2020. As rioters destroy cities, Harvard profs condemn Trump's rhetoric of domestic terrorism. A group of Harvard Law School faculty members released a letter denouncing President Donald Trump's actions, which they say endorse violence. The letter claims that Trump retains too much federal power and is too irresponsible to be president. Trump recently tweeted, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." By using the word shooting, Harvard states that Trump incites private violence and promotes others to take similarly destructive action. Making comparisons between modern times and the civil rights era, they say Trump's statement pledged violent state action against those who protest race-based injustices. They claim that, in this tweet, Trump undermines our democratic order by offering military support to states amidst the violent riots. So I'll just jump in here and point out how fucking stupid and obviously biased this is. For starters, Trump is specifically referring to the looting, which is happening in several cities across the US. The fact that these Harvard shitters are completely ignoring that and hoping the reader isn't aware of any rioting, is completely disgusting. Here they are condemning Trump for using the word shooting, and for encouraging people to shoot the looters, and yet they had no words for the looters themselves. One might think Harvard is pro-looters, huh? Let's do that. That'll be the title of this video. I know journalists, some of whom graduated from Harvard, like to make titles like that. Let's see how they like it. Lastly, Harvard continues to be dishonest by stating Trump's statement pledged violent state action against those who protest race-based injustices, which, again, Harvard ignores the fact that Trump was specifically targeting looters and thugs, just the way Obama did for the riots during his tenure. And let's also note how Harvard ignores the fact that mayors and governors are trying to attend to the rioters and looters, but they just don't have enough officers. If the officers aren't around to protect regular citizens and businesses, what are we, the good citizens, supposed to do? Just fucking take it and lose our community and our jobs? Actually fuck these guys. In other words, it's time to admit Harvard is a lost cause, and I hope the professors and faculty with integrity stand up to this bullshit. His willingness to use federal authority in ways that breach fundamental principles of our governance often results in aggravating race discrimination and injury. Trump's previous tweets praising the Secret Service's work of protecting the White House with the most vicious dogs and most ominous weapons are deemed by Harvard as examples of Trump welcoming the use of excessive force. He has instigated divisions among people based upon race, political party, ideology, and national origin, the professors say, while favoring a violent reaction from his supporters. I don't think that's what he was doing, actually. When he says that, I see it as a deterrent. He's neither promoting nor welcoming excessive force, in my opinion. If he were, then he and his guns and his dogs would be marching out and charging forward into the crowd. But they're being held back to defend their posts should any protesters or rioters come too close. It's up to the protesters to engage. Despite Trump's clarification in later tweets, Harvard states that this deflects responsibility. Trump has failed in reaching the minimum standard of responsible behavior by a public official in a democracy. Harvard writes that Trump calling out journalists as fake news and saying that rioters should serve long jail sentences serve to heighten our concern about the use of excessive force and public violence. More than 60 professors signed on in support of the letter. And not a single word about the excessive force or public violence or burning of business or tarnishing the homes of Black and Hispanic communities whose median income are among the lowest in the country. These privileged professors are fucking something else, aren't they? Okay, let's move on to the next story. From the New York Post by Nicholas Vega, published June 2, 2020. Apple is tracking iPhones stolen by looters. Apple has an eerie message for the looters who have pillaged its stores during recent protests. We're watching you. Thieves who made off with iPhones from ransacked Apple retail locations in recent days quickly learned that the gadgets were loaded with special security software, as they displayed a message on their screens indicating that their locations were being monitored. "Please return to Apple Walnut Street," read the on-screen message of an iPhone stolen from an Apple store in Philadelphia, according to social media posts. "This device has been disabled and is being tracked. Local authorities will be alerted." Apple, which has recently been gearing up to reopen over 100 stores across the United States following an extended closure due to the pandemic, saw locations attacked and looted in cities including New York, Los Angeles and Washington. It's funny honestly. Our fears and concerns about tracking and privacy concerns are a big issue, up until some people take advantage of horrible situation. I don't know if these phones would even be returned. They'd probably just be thrown in with the rest of the garbage if these people can't hack into it to override the loss prevention software. Well, hopefully the phones took pictures and fingerprints and building addresses of the culprits so they can be locked up where they belong. And now for the last, super short story, we head over to a tweet. Neko Grant, a reporter for Bloomberg Technology, stated the following on June 2, 2020. Zoom's CEO says he won't encrypt free calls so Zoom can work more with law enforcement. Free users for sure, we don't want to give that because we also want to work together with FBI, with local law enforcement in case some people use Zoom for a bad purpose, Yuan said. And this coming from a conference call with analysts. You can find the report of that on Bloomberg here. Link in description. It's really quite unfortunate that Zoom, with its privacy concerns and also lack of encryption, has become so popular. I never heard of Zoom before Corona-chan, so I guess they either just took advantage of the lockdowns so hard that they skyrocketed, or it was just never all that important. Why would you use Zoom when there are already like 200 other apps that allow you to do the same thing, some of which do it better? So there's a little of both good and bad in all of today's stories. Cause I don't agree with the lack of encryption, but if tech companies are going to try to aid in law enforcement by tracking looters and pinpointing their location to the police, it's a speedy way of locking up these imbeciles. Either way, I'm glad to know that I haven't ever touched Apple or Zoom, and I sure as fucking hell want nothing to do with Harvard while these dishonest and deceptive professors are there. But now you know who and what to look out for. You're welcome. Don't forget to live, laugh, love and spread some positivity with this pretty eerie picture. Oh no. It's full moon and my girlfriend is a wolf and she's licking me. Whatever shall I do? Ooh. Don't forget you can help me defeat some monsters and get slowly closer to being a functional adult. Remain vigilant and don't get trolled out there. Suck my dick, faggots.
Gladly. Move! Ready! Move! Ready! You command? Naturally! Ready! Let's go! At your service!